Hi there, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eastwood for Life fan, and this is movie pickups update for the month of August 2019. Hope all you guys are healthy and well, and it's been well over a month since I last posted my last video on the channel. Been super busy. Did have a 2.5 week break, holiday to Spain, and as well a few of you of my close YouTube buddies might know that I've been hard at it in the gym, preparing myself for a sporting contest soon to happen. So we'll get to the collection and titles that I've picked up, and we'll start off with the DVDs first. And these movies, grew up watching these movies, and they don't seem to be screened on UK TV anymore. And I picked up the Blake Edwards Pink Panther film collection. It's the UK DVD set. I did try to pick up the Blu-ray collection of this put out by Shout Select company in US, but that's going for quite big money, so I've had to settle for this. And you do get over 12 hours of classic comedy. Peter Sellers as the French Inspector Clouseau, and you get the original movie, The Pink Panther, A Shot in the Dark, The Pink Panther Strikes Again, Revenge of the Pink Panther, and Trail of the Pink Panther. And you do get stacks of features. Look forward to revisiting these Pink Panther movies. I think A Shot in the Dark was my favourite one. Next two are spaghetti western bootlegs, which I've never had an English audio release. This is the 1966 spaghetti western Death Walks in Laredo. Now there is a German release of this movie, but that doesn't have a English audio. And it's a rare, fairly unknown spaghetti western, this one, from the mid-60s. Never seen this one before. Starring Thomas Hunter, and the most well-known actor in this one is Enrico Maria Salerno. He'd been in quite a few spaghetti westerns. And you have a bootleg. It's a 1968 spaghetti western, and this one I haven't seen. Directed by Enzo G. Castellari. I Came, I Saw, I Shot. This is also known as $1 Too Many, starring Antonio Sabato. But I mainly picked this one up because John Saxon and Frank Wolf is in this one. And this is a spaghetti western comedy. Never had a English audio release of this one, so I've never seen this one either. Past few months I've been picking up a few Steven Seagal movies, and missed out on this one a few times. A little bit more difficult to pick up this one, On Deadly Ground, mid 1990s Steven Seagal movie where he produced and actually directed this one, where he's an Alaskan fighting for his own people. And it was around about in the mid-90s where his career started to slide a little bit, and this one did have a $15 million budget, and it only made 3/4 of the money back. And Michael Caine plays the villain in this, in a very dodgy looking hairdo, black hairstyle. And I didn't really think a lot of this one back in the VHS days, so This is another attempt to watch this movie on deadly ground. And another Steven Seagal movie. This is the Glimmer Man, which is kind of a buddy cop movie. There were quite a few rip-offs of these buddy cop movies when they tried to trying to cash in on the Lethal Weapon movies with Mel Gibson and Danny Glover. But this one's not a bad movie with Steven Seagal. One of his better ones, a little bit underrated. And this is a 1996 Steven Seagal movie, The Glimmer Man. On to the Blu-rays now, and some westerns. This one is the Oxbow Incident, starring Henry Fonda, a movie directed by William A. Wellman. He was responsible for the James Cagney classic, The Public Enemy. And this is a early 1940s American Western. Never seen this Western before, but it's a movie that's been recommended by my good buddy Toddy Walnuts. And also this is a Clint Eastwood favourite of his, and you do get a young Anthony Quinn pops up in this movie. And this is the Arrow Academy release. It does come with the DVD and Blu-ray. That is the original artwork. And with all my Arrow movies, I try to pick up the booklet. Henry Fonda, been in many great westerns, fine actor. The Oxbow Incident. And I've got to be honest, the bulk of my American westerns that I have are from the 1960s onwards. I've been picking up quite a few from the 1950s. And I think this is probably the oldest western that I now have in my collection, the Oxbow Incident. The next western is a Canadian western, Forsaken, starring Kiefer Sutherland, Donald Sutherland, his father, and also Demi Moore. And this is a low budget western, only costing $11 million. Did check out the trailer of this movie, a 2015 movie. I picked this one up at my local CX store for a very cheap price. Always willing to check out new westerns. Forsaken. The next movie is a US release put out by Synapse, and it's a 1969 spaghetti western known as Django the Bastard, aka The Stranger's Gundown, starring Anthony Stephan. And this is one of his better spaghetti western efforts. An actor that is often kind of goes through the motions in his movies and is described as a little bit wooden, but this one is a very good spaghetti western. It does have a gothic horror supernatural feel to this movie, and it's a nice print put out by Synapse, and it's region free for all you worldwide collectors. And this spaghetti western, highly recommended. And there was some talk that maybe Clint Eastwood used this idea for his movie High Plains Drifter, and storyline fairly similar but not quite the same. And this one's directed by Sergio Garrone. Excellent spaghetti western. And speaking of spaghetti westerns, I attended the movie comic con at the Olympia in London, where there were quite a few stars there, and it was a 3-day event in London where there were stars like Val Kilmer, Martin and Charlie Sheen, as well as Lee Majors, William Shatner, and also David Norton from American Werewolf in London. First time I'd really been to one of these movie and comic con, and did try to shoot some footage, but it was very difficult as quite a lot of stars didn't like getting filmed, and great stores of movie memorabilia and items. But I went there to meet my spaghetti western, one of my favourite spaghetti western actors that I met, and had a photo with Django, the original Django himself, Franco Nero, 77 years old now, star of many great spaghetti westerns, Eurocrime movies, and the odd giallo movie. But it was really nice to finally meet the legend. And also with that, I did have a few other bits signed, and he was very impressed with this Arrow Video collector's set. And actually he was only supposed to sign this once, but I didn't realise that he had signed the front cover as well as the poster. He also signed, which I will get out. And the poster, part of the collection, to Carlos from the real Django, Franco Nero. And he was pretty popular in people getting various bits signed. I wished I could have signed a few more items, but hopefully he will be there the following year. And I do know that another YouTuber, Alan, Kermits Ghost, he was also there the day before on the Saturday, and he filmed some footage from the movie and Comic Con, so I will leave the link to that video, and also check out his channel, Kermits Ghost, one of my favourite YouTubers, great collector, fantastic collection overviews that he does, and he regularly does his Monday out and about pickups, where he picks up the latest movie titles. So that's a channel worth checking out, Kermit's Ghost. The link will be down below. And still on some more Franco Nero, I picked up this German release of a early 1970s Eurocrime movie. This is Confessions of a Police Captain, and this is an upgrade. I did have the American DVD release put out by Wild East. This movie stars Franco Nero as well as Martin Balsam, and this movie is directed by Damiano Damiani. He directed the spaghetti western classic A Bullet for the General, and my favourite Amityville movie from the series, Amityville 2 to Possession. And he also did do another Franco Nero movie, How to Kill a Judge, a few years later. But this release comes in a kind of DVD case, but it is a Blu-ray and DVD release, and you do get the German, English and Italian audio. And this one's about a police officer who starts to use dirty tactics to catch a criminal that's connected to the mafia. This movie, Confessions of a Police Captain. And another Franco Nero movie, late 1970s. This is the UK 88 Films release, of Hitchhike. There is a German media book release of this coming out. Franco Nero and Corinne Clary are a troubled married couple where they're on a holiday with their trailer, and they pick up a hitchhiker, which turns out to be a very bad move. And this is an upgrade, as I did have the Blue Underground US DVD release of this movie previously. And the last Italian movie I picked up is this 1976 Eurocrime movie, Young, Violent and Dangerous, starring Thomas Millian. This is the German media book, where you do get 3 different covers, A, B and C. And they're limited 550 copies per cover, and I have numbered 165. First time on Blu-ray. I did have the US DVD release of this put out by Raro Video, and you do get the German, Italian and English audio. Nice media book, this one. This one's set in Italy, where you have 3 young criminals who go on a violent spree, and they are wanted in Italy. And Thomas Millian plays the commissioner who tries to track them down. Good thing about this media book, you get a poster of the cover, and you do get various bits written in English and German. And although Thomas Millian, Cuban actor, he was living in Italy, he made many great spaghetti western movies as well as Eurocrime movies and the odd Giallo movie. And if you like your fast car chases, high violence, you see a lot of Fiats in these car chases, as the movie is set in Italy, of course. Some info written in English, as most of the German media books normally come in German. This is the first one that I have that is written in English. But very good Eurocrime movie in Young, Violent and Dangerous. You can pick this media book up for around about the €30 mark. On to the 1980s, and this Martin Scorsese and Robert De Niro movie that they made together doesn't get mentioned as much, but very underrated movie, this one, The King of Comedy, where Robert De Niro plays a struggling comic who tries to hit the big time. After a few failed attempts, he kidnaps his idol, his comedian idol, played by Jerry Lewis, and this turns out to be a bit of a black comedy, but very good movie, this one, and it's been missing from the collection for quite a while. The King of Comedy. Next movie is a sequel that I've never seen before. You might be surprised, and this is Psycho 2. Anthony Perkins returns as Norman Bates, and I do need to watch all the Psycho movies. I haven't watched the original Psycho movie for a long time, and this is the Arrow Video release. And after I get through all the Psycho movies, I wouldn't mind checking out the Bates Motel TV series. And he returns after 2 decades in this sequel. And this does come with the booklet Anthony Perkins in his most famous role. Psycho 2. And I've stuck with the original cover that I always remember seeing. 1983 movie Blue Thunder, starring Roy Scheider, and I think now I've picked up most of the Roy Scheider movies that I wanted from his career. And this movie, directed by John Badham, he also directed War Games and Saturday Night Fever, and this one did spark off a spin-off TV series which didn't last very long. And also Warren Oates pops up in this movie as well. But back in the VHS days, I remember this one was a very popular title, Blue Thunder. Very good action movie, as I remembered back then. The last movie from the 1980s, John Hughes' classic Weird Science, and this is the Arrow Video Steelbook release of this movie, inspired by the EC comics. I remembered watching this one back in the VHS days. There are the special features. You do get a extended cut of the movie. And this one's a very fun watch, where you have two geeky teenagers where they create and design their perfect and ideal looking woman on a computer, and by accident she is brought to life, and she's played by Kelly LeBrock, who I think we all remember her appearing in the Gene Wilder movie The Woman in Red. But we'll get through this steelbook. That is the front cover, which is a good cover, but compared to the back cover is even better. Absolute stunning woman in Kelly LeBrock. And I think we were all a fan of her beauty. And this does come with the booklet. And John Hughes made some very good movies in the 80s. Did do quite a few National Lampoon Vacation movies, as well as The Breakfast Club, which wasn't a favourite of mine, but I suppose his biggest hit was the Home Alone movies. And I forget, this movie also stars a young Bill Paxton and also Robert Downey Jr. Kelly LeBrock with a typical 80s big hair style. And one thought that Kelly LeBrock's career was going to really take off after these two hits, The Woman in Red and Weird Science. She did appear in the Steven Seagal movie Hard to Kill, and they did get married and divorced. To be honest, I don't know what she actually saw in Steven Seagal, in my opinion. I suppose opposites attract. And she hasn't made many films. I think she kind of sticks with family life. But an absolute stunning and beautiful actress, supermodel. This does come with a new transfer, and that is a site. Kelly LeBrock in Weird Science. At first I was only going to pick up the Amaray release, but this steelbook just looks like a real nice addition. Next movie is a hip-hop movie, Notorious, made in 2009, and a very good hip-hop movie. And this one's about the Brooklyn rapper, the Notorious b.i.g, aka Biggie Smalls, real name Christopher Wallace. And if you're not a fan of hip-hop, then this movie is still a very good watch. This is an upgrade for me, as I did have the DVD edition. And for me, one of the great rap stars. Loved his albums Ready to Die and Life After Death, and they never did find out who shot and killed Biggie Smalls, Notorious b.i.g. I picked up the new edition of the movie Drive, and this is the special collector's edition. A great Ryan Gosling movie, and in this edition you do get a alternative Radio 1 soundtrack, and you also get the making of with Radio 1 DJ Zane Lowe. Great film, this one. And you do get some movie cards in this edition. And in this movie, Ryan Gosling, he plays a stuntman, but also he is a getaway driver for criminals. And I still say that this movie was influenced by the Walter Hill movie The Driver with Ryan O'Neal. And I forget that Ron Perlman and Bryan Cranston from Breaking Bad is also in this movie. Some nice movie cards. There he is, Bryan Cranston. And you also get the lovely Christina Hendricks is also in this movie. And I did have the normal Amaray release. Of Drive. Tried to pick up the steelbook on a few attempts, but I think I'll settle for this edition of a great movie. And with the new Terminator 6 movie coming out, Dark Fate, I also picked up Terminator, the Sarah Connor Chronicles. Never seen this series, and in this set you do get the first 2 seasons. They didn't make a 3rd season as Fox decided to cancel the show. And this one follows the lives of Sarah and John Connor. This is season 1. Not too sure what I'm gonna get with this series. And the 2nd season. And I'm not sure if I will be watching Terminator 6 Dark Fate, even though Arnold Schwarzenegger and Linda Hamilton are in the movie, and James Cameron, he pops up as he produces the movie, and his story is by James Cameron, but I'm not sure if the franchise can be saved as such. but I'll give this one a go. The Sarah Connor Chronicles. I know a few of you picked up Dragged Across Concrete, a movie directed by the director who directed Bone, Tomahawk and Brawled in Cell Block 99. Great cast in this one. Mel Gibson, Vince Vaughn, Jennifer Carpenter and also Don Johnson. I have seen the trailer of this and I'm really looking forward to checking out this movie, this crime thriller in Dragged Across Concrete. And the only 4K pickup is the classic movie by Ridley Scott. Many of you would have seen or have a version of this movie. Excellent gladiator movie, epic movie, and I won't be picking up everything to upgrade onto 4K, only my personal favourite movies, and Gladiator is one of my all-time favourite movies, easily in my favourite top 10 movies of all time. Russell Crowe in Gladiator. So that is my movie update for the month of August 2019. Sorry that I've been away. I will try to catch up in watching all the videos of the channels that I subscribe to, and I'll try to put more regular content on the channel. So guys, stay healthy and well, and as always, keep on collecting physical media.